In late September of 2024, Hurricane Helene made landfall and headed straight for North Carolina, where it caused devastation never before seen in that area. As the storm cleared and destruction became apparent, pilots from around the country descended on the region to deliver food and supplies to those in need. The initial response was overwhelming, but in February of 2025, there was a renewed request for pilots, and that's where this story begins. In the initial aftermath of Helene, volunteer pilots flew countless missions to provide aid for those affected. In October, Canine Angels for Heaven, the Animal Clinic of Elkhorn, and Chihuahua Rescue and Transport combined their efforts to deliver crates, leashes, collars, harnesses, and 800 pounds of pet food to North Carolina. But eventually, volunteers needed to return home to their families, their jobs, and their lives. Just because the pilots left didn't mean the work was done, and there was still help on the way. The Animal Clinic of Elkhorn began collecting more donations. Hill's Science Diet Pet Food heard about the effort and matched the donation pound for pound. When the Animal Clinic of Elkhorn reached out to Diane from Canine Angels for Heaven looking for pilots, Diane contacted me through Pilots N Paws. If you could take a moment to share this video, I know all of these organizations would appreciate knowing that their generosity did not go unnoticed. I did the math and figured I could take about 400 pounds of food, leaving another 450 pounds behind. That's when I reached out to my friend Ryan, who was available to take the rest. The evening before the flight, Ryan picked up the food and brought it to Capitol. After careful weight and balance checks, we filled every nook and cranny of my Cherokee. Then we headed to Waukesha to put the rest in Ryan's plane. Loaded and ready, we were all set to head for Lafayette, Indiana, where we would deliver just under a combined half-ton of pet food. The preparation of the day before made the morning of the flight feel routine. We didn't have to rush to load the food, and we weren't tired from lifting bags while being bent in strange positions. I was able to wake up refreshed and do all of my normal pre-flight checks before pulling a very heavy plane out of the hangar. I was excited for more than just making this delivery for a good cause. This would be my first time flying the Chicago Skyline by myself, and as I prepared myself to be low over the water along the lakeshore, I felt ready for the challenge ahead.
Clear prop.
Capitol Drive traffic, Compassion 2756, departing runway 3 and turning out to the south. Capitol Drive traffic. Every bit of runway we got. Alright, we're on the brakes. 1700 stable. Full power. 23, we're green, and green, let's go. Wind is pretty much straight down the runway now. Airspeed is alive and slowly climbing. We're still green, and green. 50. A little bit of ice, be cautious, good. 60. 65, rotate. Accelerate for 74, we're off well before our abort point. Through the trees, we're showing a climb on both the VSI and the altimeter. Flaps 10 and flaps out. Pitch for 85. Milwaukee approach, good morning, compassion 2756, 5 south of Waukesha, flight following.
Compassion 2756 Milwaukee, maintain VFR in squawk 4671.
4671, compassion 2756, destination Lafayette, Indiana, Lima, Alpha, Foxtrot, P28 Alpha.
Compassion 2756, thank you for that. You are radar contact about 7 miles south of the Waukesha Airport. I show you at 3,500. The Milwaukee altimeter is 3047.
3047, position altitude checks will be level here, compassion 2756.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Compassion 2756, please set your transponder for me, please. Squawk 4341.
4341, compassion 2756.
Lance 01, you are radar contact about 10 miles south of the West Bend Airport, and just looking at your routing, going to DeKalb, Chicago's not going to be able to take you that way, so do you want to go over the land or over the water? Okay, I'll have a new route here for you. Just continue southbound and maintain VFR, and I'll work on a new route for you.
Go figure.
Compassion flight 2756, you can contact Chicago approach 120.55.
120.55, compassion 2756 today.
Today, thanks.
Chicago approach, good morning, compassion 2756, 3,500, heading for the shoreline.
Compassion flight 2556, Chicago approach, hello, the air altimeter 3044, maintain VFR outside Chicago, Bravo airspace.
3044, and will remain outside the Bravo, compassion 2756.
Yes sir, 3044 for the altimeter.
3044, compassion 2756. And we'll start our descent down to 2,500. Which will be good too, because that'll keep us well clear of those clouds along the water.
And Chicago approach RB926, Golf level 3,500. RB926 Golf, Chicago approach air altimeter 3045, pay attention. 3045, the sensors are to drop down once we get to the lake shore and fly the Flyway down through. Roger, where's your destination? Destination is Lima, Alpha, Foxtrot. November 26 Golf, Roger, proceed on course, maintain VFR outside Chicago West Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR outside the Bravo, 2 Golf, thanks. Compassion flight 2756, contact approach now 128.2.
128.2, compassion 2756, good day.
Center 120.35. 2035, eccentric 540 show.
Chicago, good morning, compassion 2756, 2,000 along the shoreline.
Flight 2756, Chicago approach, altimeter midway 3045, remain outside the Charlie and the City Delta.
3045 will remain out of the house as far as compassion
2756. Southwest 1317, climb and maintain 12000. Climb and maintain 12000, Southwest 1317. Departure Southwest 2666, 2200 for 3000. Southwest 2666, Chicago departure, radar contact, turn left heading.
I'll never get tired of this view, flying below the tops of skyscrapers. Every time I fly this route, I can't help but take a moment to stare in awe at how much we've accomplished as a society in such a short amount of time. And I always reflect on how amazing it is that we can enjoy this thing called general aviation, and how many people down below have no idea what they're missing.
700, climb and maintain 12000. Climb to 12000, 700. 2666, proceed direct to Lukey, down to Chicago Center, 120.35. Direct Lukey and over to Center, 12035, Southwest 2666, good. Right. Departure Southwest 295, 2.3, climb at 3000, heading 130. South 295, Chicago departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 6000. 6000, Southwest 295. South 700, proceed direct 10. Direct 10, Southwest 700. And approach RB926 Golf level 2000. RB926 926 Golf, Chicago Approach, altimeter 3045, remain outside to Charlie, and any Deltas. 3045, remain outside, follow. 700, County Chicago Center, 120.12, 2012. 312, calling, 700. That's 295, to right direct to Cedo. Direct to Cedo, southwest, yeah.
As the skyline fell behind me, I pondered the freedom that flying gave me, to see a landscape change from towering buildings casting their shadows on nearby neighborhoods, vast industrial parks, to sprawling farmers' fields, harvesting crops, and harvesting the very wind that gives my plane life. It's this freedom to fly that allows me to bring a little piece of freedom to others, and in this case, bringing freedom to pets in other parts of the country, giving them a second chance at life.
2756, get Lafayette in sight.
Hey, firm, 2756.
Dash flight 2756, before you go, looks like two targets coming off Lafayette, northbound, one showing 2000, one showing 2100, have not talked to them yet.
We'll keep an eye out, compassion 2756.
Dash flight 2756, radar services, terminate, keep squawking, contact the tower 119.6.
Keep the code over to the tower, compassion 2756, good day.
Secretary Sam is shaking.
Lafayette Tower, good afternoon. Compassion 2756, 8 North, Alpha, full stop.
Compassion 2756, Roger, number 3, following a Skyhawk on the 1 mile right base.
Compassion 2756, Skyhawk in sight.
Compassion flight 2756, runway 5, clear to land, number 2.
Number 2, clear to land, runway 5, compassion 2756.
10288. Affirmative, short approach, this time for UPD-8, and it's going to be a full stop. Flight 2756, turn left on Alpha taxiway, continue to the intersection, left on Alpha, contact ground point 901 off.
Left on Alpha, through the intersection at ground point 9, compassion 2756, good day.
Pay attention all aircraft, Archers landing runway 10, will hold short of runway 5.
Lafayette ground, good afternoon, compassion 2756, off of 5 at Alpha, going to the FBO.
That's 2756, we'll have your ground taxi FBO via Alpha, Echoes uncontrolled, you can use that at your discretion.
Alpha, and then Echo, which is under control, compassion.
After finding Ryan's plane on the ramp, I parked next to him and met Ramin, who was ready with his truck to receive all of the pet food. Together, the three of us worked to unload Ryan's plane first. Then it was time to offload the Cherokee, giving us an idea of just how much this little plane can actually carry. The next leg would be flown by Ramin and Nithin, who, like Ryan and I, combined their efforts to fly their fully loaded planes to Kentucky. From there, Mike brought the food the rest of the way, where this particular shipment was delivered to Scooter's Underdog Pet Rescue in Elk Park, North Carolina. Word of this delivery spread quickly, and people were arriving at the airport to pick up food for their pets before Mike's plane was fully unloaded. But there's still a need for help. I'll put links in the description of this video so you can learn more about how you can donate time, money, or resources to any of these organizations. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Badger Pilot.